Have you seen anything about all this in AS or Marca? You haven't, right? Well, it's only come out in La Galerna. Jesus Bengoechea sent it to me this morning and said, look, Miguel Serrano, this is happening today. We actually discussed it briefly in a video yesterday. Because, of course, these are the kinds of things that at first seem like a huge conflict of interest. But then, well, maybe there's something missing there in terms of development, or at least that's how I felt yesterday, that maybe that was missing. Because, of course, you have to be very careful with what you say. I read your comments as some pretty harsh words and all that. And yes, it all makes you think about that. It all leads us down that path. But I have to be very careful because I have a channel where, well, everything I say is public and you have to be careful. You have to be careful. But today, Jesus was precisely pointing out that other aspect of Tebas, that Tebas is the vice president of the Spanish Football Federation. So that alleged conflict of interest is even greater, right? They've published a long article, very thorough, very well written, with a lot of detail, which I'm not going to read here in full. I invite you to check it out. It's, as I said, in La Galerna, basically summarized here. In this thread of tweets, this is from today. I mean, they posted it yesterday and today. In another series of tweets, they give more details. And they send or post the link to the article in La Galerna magazine. And I insist, it's really good. Read it because it's very, well, it's very detailed. But basically, Barcelona gave a multi-million loan to a company linked to Javier Tebas. Here you can see it. The new registered office of the entity remains in Madrid, specifically on Angel Cabero Street, the address where the Tebas Coiduras family office is located. There are multiple irregularities in Javier Tebas's network. Audiovisual New Age kept its registered office until last March on Macarena Street in Madrid, where other companies linked to his family were also registered. And, well, there's the contact. This was published by La Galerna. When he became president, Luzán appointed Javier Tebas as vice president of the federation. And according to the ethical code of the highest body in Spanish football, the president of the Employers Association was required to report any possible conflicts of interest. And this, well, it clearly seems to be one, apparently, allegedly, okay? Well, that's it. Take a look. I'm going to put the link to this article here in the description of this video. By the way, for those of you who have been asking me about the link, where are all the documents related to the Barcelona-Negreira case that Juan Luis Martín de Pozuelo has submitted to UEFA, and that UEFA is saying, what? I didn't know about this. I didn't know about this. I didn't know about this. We're going to put it in a link that I'll tell you about later. I don't have it ready on my website yet. It's going to be on my website. I'll post it for you, okay? I'll let you know beforehand, and I'll post it for you. And to those of you who have watched the video, I really appreciate it. People are telling me it's one of the best videos in recent times, and honestly, all the credit goes to Juan Luis, of course, for everything he shares. It's very interesting. I'll feature it at the end of this video so that anyone who hasn't seen it can check it out, because it's amazing. The interview with Juan Luis Martín de Pozuelo is incredible. He's a brave guy, a super hard worker, and he's doing something that no one else has done, not even Real Madrid, which is to tell UEFA, hey, since you suspended that open case about Negreira, something that Zephyrin considered the most serious case, a really serious case in the world of football, the most serious thing he had ever seen in football. That's what Zephyrin said, right? Literally, well, that was closed with a meal between Laporte and Zephyrin in Slovenia when he went to sweet talk him. And since then, nothing. And since then, a lot of things have happened. Some tremendous reports from the civil guard, some rulings from Judge Aguirre, and so on and so on. Well, now referees are testifying. Referees, and of course, the stuff with Rosell, with Bartomeu, with Laporta, you know, all those things, right? UEFA is asking Juan Luis, send me more, because I want to know more. And that's where we leave it. Watch the video, because everything is perfectly explained there. Like I said, these things don't come out in... Anyway, we're playing Alaves in a few hours. I'll be there, okay? I'll be there at the Bernabeu. And this time, I'm going with someone who won the raffle to come with me to the stadium. Who is it? Antonio Miguel Mesa, who's an amazing guy, is coming from the Canary Islands, and we've been trying to coordinate our schedules for a while, so I'll be there with him. I'll post a photo later so you can see that people really do win the giveaways. The thing is, this is running a little late, and what about the giveaway I'll do now for those of you who joined at Christmas or through the... By purchasing the book, the audiobook, about Real Madrid, which I want to remind you is available here. In the description of this video, there's a link to get the Real Madrid audiobook. And listen, that giveaway still hasn't happened yet, so you could still enter, and you'd also get 3 months of free subscription to the channel. Well, we'll do that giveaway later on to go to a match in the upcoming season because there's not enough time for this one. Anyway, I'll be there with last year's winner last year. And he's going to play, well, he's on the squad, Javi Navarro, the big star of the Youth League. Who won the title with Real Madrid's youth team? Well, and in this squad list that Madrid published today, and nothing. In a Bernabeu, where we'll see how the crowd reacts to the team, we'll discuss it later. I don't think so. I won't do a live stream because I won't have time to get back from the Bernabeu and all that, but we'll make a video. Please wait for the video tonight. It might come out a bit late. For those of you in America, it'll come out earlier for you at a decent hour, and that's it. And there we'll talk a bit about who's going to play, about the squad list. Javi Navarro, the star of the match, as I said, in Marca, in AS. Well, you won't see anything about Javier Tebas, but yes, there are jokes. There are jokes about Madrid in the Youth League. It's very curious because do you remember when I told you yesterday, hey, the anti-Madridistas, the Barcelona fans, the Atleti fans, they're going to laugh and they're going to make jokes like Getafe is rubbing their hands and all that. Let's see how soon he ends up at Getafe. You don't even need to, but Marca already tells you, using the excuse of look at what they're saying. See, Marca is telling you right there. So there's a list here of footballers who at the time won the Youth League with Barca in 2018 or 2017, which is very significant. On my channel, in the second to last video, we saw those who won with Raúl in 2020. And where are they now? There are some who have done well, relatively well. Miguel Gutierrez, C. Arribas, even though he's in the second division, but he's standing out. Antonio Blanco is playing in the first division with Alaves. Okay. But we were saying, hey, none of them made it to the Real Madrid first team. This is Barca, who won the Youth League a few years ago. Pay attention, okay? Karimic, Iñaki Peña. Look, this one sounds familiar anyway, from Barça to Elche. Adrià Rojas, Juanma Santaella, Jorge Cuenca, Chumi, Arnau Comas, Román Tugarinov, Sergio Gómez. This one is good. This one is good, but he didn't end up at Barca. Juan Miranda, well, he's the one from Real Sociedad, right? Honestly, I like that player. Juan Miranda, the one from Betis, Martí Vila, David Alfonso, Antonio Solá, Dani Morer, Óscar Mingueza, Luke, the one from Celta, Guillem Jaime, Mateu Morey, Sergi Rosana, Suri Busquets, Jandro Orellana, Álvaro Sanz, Monchu, Ricky Puig, Labeno Cavassi, none of them at Barca, huh? Lucas de Vega, Josep Calavera, Alex Collado, Bayu Tabla, Juan Fernández, Quique Saverio, Carles Pérez. This was the one who went to Roma, and then, wow, do you remember he later went to Greece? And a dog bit him, excuse me, huh? It's just that every time I see his name, I get bored. Well, I think it's pretty wild. A dog bit his balls. How is that guy doing? When I saw that, it's like, what happened to Morante de la Puebla, man? Anyway, I don't even want to imagine it. Either way, oh my God, no, what would you prefer, right? Anyway, what a thing. Well, I made this little digression because, of course, your imagination just goes there. Edgar Fernandez, Niels Mortimer, that name really makes me laugh, man, Mortimer. Abel Ruiz, the one from Girona so far, right? Abel Ruiz. Rafa Mujica and Alejandro Marquez. Damn, I really know my football. Where, huh? What is it? Should we make the joke with Girona instead of Getafe? I bet they haven't. That's it, right? Anyway, it's all very funny. Pay attention to this because they're already talking. Of course, a lot of names are going to come up, like Julian Nagelsmann. Jose Felix Diaz is said to have reported it. This Madrid account is reporting it here. Well, he is said to have put himself forward just like Mourinho did, and the choice could be between Pochettino, Klopp, Mourinho, and Nagelsmann, because I think another experiment, some people said Cesc Fabregas, but no. Signing Cesc Fabregas is like signing Xavi Alonso or Arbeloa in that sense. Coach, young, modern, with a certain method, proving himself at the top level. Well, I think Xavi came with a pretty interesting resume, right? Winning a Bundesliga, etc. But Florentino is not going to go that way. Among other things, because Florentino's assessment, and there have been two newspapers, ABC and El Mundo, that have talked about what Florentino thinks. And I think that if both of them have said pretty much the same thing, it's because that's the way things are going. Florentino Perez, says Ruben Canizares in ABC, absolves the players of blame for the situation. He thinks the squad is strong and capable of much better performances than what we've seen in the past 2 seasons. I keep saying it's the coach. We're repeating the same issues. If Florentino Perez believes that the squad is very good, which it actually is, the squad is very good, but that doesn't mean everything is fine. We're okay with midfielders, even if they get injured as center backs and we don't sign replacements. We're fine with all of it. Come on, we're still doing badly. We'll be in the same situation this summer. But well, in the same way, they're also saying that signing a midfielder is, let's say, absolutely necessary, and certain positions need to be reinforced. There are a lot of people who have a lot of doubts about Carreras and about, well, not to mention whether he should stay or not, that he would be loaned out, by the way, with players who, well, haven't measured up, like I said, Carreras. I don't think Hauser would fall into that category. Here's what the newspaper El Mundo is saying. Florentino wants full control over choosing the next coach, specifically someone fitting that profile, even if it's not stated. We all know that's the case. He's been self-critical and takes responsibility regarding Xavi Alonso and Arbeloa, with Arbeloa not staying on. He thinks the change to Xavi and Arbeloa happened too late, as the team needed it earlier. He doesn't blame the players. He believes the squad has more quality than it's shown this season and that another coach could get more out of it. No market revolution, but Nico Paz, Hendrik, and Victor Munoz will return, though at least one will be loaned out. I really like the thing with Nico Paz and Victor Munoz and Hendrik too. Of course, I love all three of them, but it won't be enough just to sign a defensive midfielder. And of course, another center back has to come in. They intend to make money by selling Asensio, Camavinga, Ceballos, and Fran Garcia if good offers come in. People at the club say Camavinga puts it down to that, or at least the people close to him do. Above all, they blame it on the inconsistency caused by injuries in recent years. Not so much on him being a player who hasn't learned or anything like that. He plays under increasing pressure because he wants to prove himself. In a short time, he wants to prove things, and that's distracting him from his goal of staying calmer, of being a player who already has a presence in the squad. And, well, in a way, he almost feels like he still has to earn his place. I mean, someone who is going in and out of the starting lineup and always has to earn it, and that's making him unsettled. I think they've given up on Camavinga, and as they say here, it's convenient. It's a textbook sale. But something happens at Madrid, and that's what Abraham Romero from El Mundo also says here. In the last 3 years, Madrid has signed players for 377 million and has only sold for 25 million. The summary is clear. Nobody with a contract wants to leave. Mariano, Vallejo, and before, me. By the way, Mariano is going to be there again. Hey, that would be an amazing ending to the season. Not only giving Barca the league at Camp Nou, but also Mariano coming on and scoring against us. And someone will say, Miguel, come on. No, but you can't say that's not funny. None of them wanted to leave. And this summer, Ceballos, Fran, Asensio, and Camavinga are saying the same. They want to stay. And they're also saying that Camavinga, I mean, there's no way he's even thinking about leaving Real Madrid. And of course, Madrid doesn't basically force these people out, right? I mean, figuratively, unlike what other clubs do, they've also used the worst tactics, right? And tricks. And we've seen it. And at Barca too. And Madrid doesn't do that. So, of course, there has to be a middle ground. One thing is to forcing a footballer to leave through dirty tactics, while Madrid acting like a charity is the other extreme. Mariano's situation was unbelievable. And what happened with Vallejo too. So we're at a point, honestly, we're at a pretty complicated moment. This summer is crucial for Madrid's future, hiring the right coach, letting go of some, and bringing in new talent. Anyway, getting it right with the players, with the midfielder, etc. Let's hope it's done well, or that it's Florentino's last service. I think he's made mistakes in the last 2 years. He put all the blame on the coaches, even though he admits some responsibility for having trusted them. Let him do one final great service for Real Madrid. He's already done many good ones, though these last 2 years have been poor. My son keeps saying that Madrid has trophyless seasons when there are black stripes on the jersey. When there are no black stripes on the jersey, they have a good season and win titles. And it looks like next year's jersey doesn't have black stripes. It's kind of weird. Green, white, green, pink, but it doesn't have black stripes or black lines, right? So, well, I'm not really into rituals or superstition, but man, I don't know what to think anymore. Anyway, I hope everything goes well for you. All right, see you later. Thanks for being there. Give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and comment and share, please. And like I said, see you later. Bye.